Welcome everyone to our webinar where we are trying to present our partnership with Strata Prop, where we are trying to bring value to our existing customers, all the stakeholders which are currently part of Agistify network. We are in the ecosystem from last 3.5 years, and in the current COVID scenario, we wanted to bring more for the ecosystem. So, bringing our partnership with Strata Prop, we have Mr. Sudarshan Lodha, who started this venture from last 6 months. He's a great legal expert, and he can talk about a brief about his background and about what Strata is doing. Then I can give a complete overview how exactly we have structured things.
Perfect,
So
great.
Sudarshan.
Thank you, Kamal. So we're very excited to partner with Agistify, primarily because they are veterans in the space of what they're doing in the industrial and the logistics space, primarily. We at Strata, we are a fund house as such. We typically make these as investment products and offer to clients where they can start investing into smaller ticket sizes and make the most of diversifying their portfolio. I'll discuss about what we do in little detail, but something which was very excited when we got in touch with Kamal was, again, they come with their sourcing, leasing abilities at the same time, where they are great property managers for a lot of properties which they're managing. Why we wanted to strike this partnership is because we are portraying, our forte is into investments at the same time, where we make these investment products, do the due diligence, whatever is required for that matter, again, along with Agistify, and offer this as an asset class investments for many investors. Today, we've seen post-COVID, we've seen a massive trend of warehousing growing bigger and bigger into the market, which is why we wanted to offer this to our clients primarily, and offer this to our investor base who is there currently and is getting added day on day. Nobody could have been better than Agistify for us to have a partnership of sorts where it covers the value chain for Agistify as well. Apart from just leasing, sourcing, etc., and managing properties, they are now even offering investments at the same time to their clients as well, which is what Strata's focus is, and Strata focuses on doing as such. So again, we'll discuss more about the entire investment opportunity which Agistify and Strata are now planning on doing together, with the investment opportunity which we have currently at hand. But the idea is that with time, there'll be a lot more other opportunities with Agistify and Strata would keep proposing to you guys, from as small as probably 50,000 square feet to even 1,000,000 square feet of warehousing opportunities for investments, is what we would bring in together and offer it to you, where for an investor it is not just investing, but also you can stay rest assured with the kind of partnership both our organizations have in terms of synergies. We can even handle the leasing, the property management, and the tenant relationships at the same time. Kamal, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sudarshan. So adding on to this, like in last 3.5 years, we have we on our platform we have aggregated over 41,000 verified properties, and right now using our algorithms we are analyzing over 9 lakh properties. So even inside city space varying from 1,000 square feet to 5 lakh square feet, we are trying to capture all the data. And being as a end-to-end logistics and supply chain company, we are helping companies finalize their right warehouse, right 3PL partner, and all allied services. So with the current scenario, we thought of giving a investment arm, like providing a platform where all the stakeholders can invest in small ticket sizes of even 25 lakhs and can increase their asset class portfolio. And in the after COVID scenario, you can know that this is the best asset class right now, which would thrive, and it would be needed. Like whatever happens in the ecosystem, disruptions from like implementation of GST or demonetization, bringing more compliances, everything brings focus on this core logistics and supply chain, where warehouse is the backbone of the entire ecosystem. So that's the reason of bringing this asset class in the front line. We have seen in last 3-4 years a lot of PE investments or pension funds are looking in Indian ecosystem, and we have seen growth of e-commerce humongously. Like we can talk about top players like Flipkart, Amazon, Udaan, all have over 7 to 8 million square feet leased across India. And Walmart investing in Flipkart have increased the direction toward compliant facilities. And GST has provided an opportunity of bigger facilities ranging from say 2 to 5 lakh square feet, and height even increasing up to 50 feet. So now structures are becoming more legal, more better, quality is improving, A lot of foreign companies would be targeting Indian ecosystem. So it's a great opportunity to have a piece. Like the way we are structuring this model now, it's an opportunity for all the HNIs, all the warehouse owners, or people who want to have a piece of pie and can go with us in the entire journey. So, Sudarshan,
Okay,
yeah.
great. So without further ado, we'll just give you details about this investment opportunity. Kamal can again give a lot more insights on the market because again, he's a veteran at that space, a thought leader who understands the market in and out. I mean, somebody who we look up to as well before we acquire any property for our investors. So again, like I said, our forte into warehousing is purely because we've seen a massive trend of growth in warehousing requirement, and I'll give you reasons around what it is. So again, so just to give you guys a background of what Strata does, is we are data driven. So you would know every insights about the property, you know, who are the other tenants, how much rents are they paying, etc. I mean, we're very, very good in commercial office, which means for office assets, for retail, we have all the data. But for warehousing, you know, that's why we have a partnership with Agistify now, where we keep offering these data parameters for all the warehouses, like how Kamal mentioned, they already have mapped so many amount of warehousing opportunities in India. You know, such opportunities where you would know who are the other tenants, how much rents are they paying, who's bought it at what price. Making this a very transparent system is what is data for us, and something which we already do for office. Now with Justify, we are porting into warehousing also in a bigger way. Second is liquidity. All these investments, whatever you make, you know, there's always a good liquidity options which we've created. I'll touch base upon what the liquidity options a little later. Coming to convenience, everything is digital. Again, today when we started Strata about a year back, like I said, we managed close to about 82 crore in AUM spread across 4 properties. This warehousing will take us to about 180 crore in AUM in a matter of 2 months itself, for that matter. When the idea was, when today mutual funds, golds can be bought digitally, why not commercial real estate also at the same time? Commercial real estate does not just mean office. Warehousing is a big element, like how Kamal mentioned, it's a backbone of every industry, for that matter, is what we wanted to forte in. Again, the whole idea was the risk management and tenancy. We use the best of best law firms to do all the due diligences, for that matter. Valuation reports taken from JLL for all our properties as well. And transparency, everything is transparent. I'll show you how transparent we are as we move forward. And, you know, a lot of feedback from Justify team on how we can make this even more a transparent structure is what, you know, we are proposing to ourselves. So how the structure works, again, for many people, like how Kamal mentioned, minimum ticket size is just 25 lakh rupees, for that matter. So how the structure works is, today investors invest into a common escrow account, which is open and floated only for that property. We have Vestra. They are the biggest trustee and escrow agents of India. They are effectively the trustees for every private equity fund in India as well. So they are the ones who act as our trustees as well. So all your money is managed over there. Today you transfer only 5% of whatever you're looking at deploying. Imagine we are raising a 20 crore opportunity. Let's assume, including registration, all the costs. We need to raise only 5% upfront. Once we've raised the 5% is when we do the drawdown for the balance 95%, and then move all the funds into an SPV. A SPV is nothing but a private limited company. We float that to acquire the property for the investors. You get securities allocated in that private limited company, and everything is sent to your demat account. So effectively the same way you would invest in any stock market, it is a similar approach, just that, you know, we have an escrow arrangement through which the transaction happens. So you can say rest assured that your money is always managed in the right way. The way we do is ideally the most institutional way of investing, what most of the developers also follow, most of the private equity funds follow. They all float companies to buy an asset. Again, helps them to have control over their company. If they need to have 2-3 other investors who are investing along with them, you know, they can bring it into the same SPV. Advantage, again, when you want to sell it, you don't have to pay stamp duty. You can just transfer your shares and you can walk away, right? So that is the whole objective with which we are doing the SPV structure and operating the business as well. Now, what all we provide as asset management services, and something which we'll be doing with Justify as a part of the whole warehousing forte of business which we're entering into, is again property tours. Anybody who wants to see any of the property tours of any property, we allow it during the weekends. You're free to go see any of the properties before investing, after investing. If the tenant leaves, finding a lease, finding another tenant, the lease negotiation, etc., which is what we do. Again, like how Justify has all the data of every property, what is happening, they guys have mapped. This allows us to know what is the actual market trends going around. We give you access to that information and work towards leasing at that market price itself, if not for more, for that matter. Again, asset upkeep is something which we handle collectively, and valuation report, which we'll be taking every 6 months and keep offering it to you, so you know what the valuation of your investment has been on a 6-month basis. We've tied up with JLL for the valuation report. You will get access to that valuation report on a 6 month basis. Apart from that, you have a dashboard where you can track all your rent receipts, the insurance documents, property tax receipts, whatever is there for that matter is all trackable for you. So what we do is called fractional investments. If you Google it up, or effectively this has been also called as co-investment, which is the most common approach India has been investing. Two friends coming together, four friends coming together, families buying together for that matter. Again, as a lawyer prior to this, I've seen a lot of stints where people have issues with respect to, I want to lease it at this price, he doesn't, I want to sell it, he doesn't want to sell it. So what we wanted to do was solve that issue through a credible platform, through an institutional approach of investing, where based on the number of shareholders, those guys take the decision. Even if one does not want, it doesn't matter. You can continue operating the business that way, right? So this is what we've done. So again, like I said, it's not new. Today this space is about $9 billion market in just US alone. It's an evolved space in UK. It's an evolved space in Australia, and it's an evolving space in Singapore as well as we speak. This is what we do, and the other companies doing. Cadre being the largest in this space with $3 billion AUM, doing fractional investments where investors have put in 25 lakh rupees, and that's how big these guys have become. In US, it's $50,000 as the minimum ticket size. Again, why? What times are we in today? Stock market is super volatile for that matter. Housing market is becoming a big problem. So we realized for investors who are today investing in housing, they're making only about 1 to 2% return. Commercial is far better return for that matter, which is why we did. NRIs, we have on our platform already close to about 15 to 20% of our investors are NRIs. They're making the most of this investment opportunity because rupee has now gone up 10%, which means all their investments are now 10% cheaper for them versus their dollar investments, what they're making. But more importantly, we've seen liquidity being at its highest today. And something which is clear, liquidity is all getting parked in fixed deposits, which means people are looking for a good fixed income. People are looking for capital protection at the same time, which is why, we started foraying into this warehousing opportunity, and we'll give you reasons why at the same time. Again, what are investors looking? This was a CBRE report that most of the investors are looking for stability and a steady source of income. This was the core reasons why people were looking at, when they're looking at investing, especially from a real estate point of view for that matter. Now, and Kamal can add here, is effectively how big the warehousing market has been. It was on about 118 million square feet of warehousing space, grade A in 2016. Now it's close to about 250, double the warehousing capacity. Very interesting thing, all the reasons what Kamal mentioned, GST becoming streamlined for that matter, government policies are becoming favorable, growth of e-commerce is one other reason, is why e-commerce is, warehousing only going to grow from what it is today to another 400 million square feet of warehousing space in total in the next 5 years, which is why, how Kamal mentioned, a lot of private equity funds, large pension funds were looking at investing into India. They've already invested. Why not give these access to good grade A facilities to retail investors, where for 25-50 lakh rupees also you can own a piece of it. Interesting.
So adding to this, like grade A facilities are increasing a lot, but still the market, all the properties which you already have, if tenants want to provide their properties, we can rate them and can bring a better tenant, and we can also help them get a better building structure if they already have land parcels also now. So if they want to enter this AAA rated structure or part of this journey of increasing better facilities, they can partner with us.
Perfect. Again, so very interesting insight, and something which HST5 team has also mentioned, that close to 40% of all the warehousing transactions are all built to suit. Your tenancy risk gets completely taken away because these are probably constructed as per the specifications and the requirement of the client. And with the data which we've seen, is the stickiness of a client in a warehousing space which is built to suit is obviously a lot more than any other kind of a property altogether. So this is something which is very important for us also to see, and the kind of transaction which we finalize is a build to suit. So the stickiness of a client is going to be a lot more. Again, just to highlight, obviously GST streamline, growth of e-commerce, Make in India movement. These are the biggest growth drivers who are driving demand for logistics and for warehousing, obviously for industrial leasing as well. But sectoral absorption is driven only by third-party logistics company. This is a big trend happening in logistics today, where most of the companies do not want to do the logistics themselves. They want to give it to experts. There are several companies. There's Delivery, which does all the e-commerce delivery business. They have close to about 30 to 40% market share for everything which gets delivered in e-commerce today. There's Mahindra Logistics, there's Future Supply Chain, there's Stellar Value Chains, there's a bunch of other companies which are into third-party logistics, which means they do end-to-end delivery. Let's say a Domino's, from the time anything comes from a farm till it reaches to the retail store is completely done by third-party logistics. Sikal was a third-party logistics company for Coffee Day. Everything of Coffee Day was manufactured in Uttarakhand. People don't even know that, but everything is manufactured there. From there is when it is dispersed to every Coffee Day branch in India as such. So from there, it comes to a main hub in that state. From that main hub in the state, it then gets delivered to the retail stores based on the consumption and the demand they have in these facilities. So that is what is third-party logistics. And obviously e-commerce being the largest growth driver and rational, I'll probably tell you a little later on what is driving that. From a COVID point of view, many people have, okay, is COVID going to impact warehousing? In fact, this has been the only sector which is growing today because you are at home, you are consuming a lot more than you used to do. There are people who used to skip lunches, dinners. Today they're having all the 3 meals. Your tendency to keep going and eating more because you're at home. Obviously, so consumption story of India is never going to end and is only going to keep growing from where it is today. So 3PL companies, obviously many companies have realized how good or bad their logistics has been, are moving to third-party logistics operators who are now trying to operate it in a much bigger manner. Yes, in the next 3 to 6 months, demand is going to be only for short-term requirements because there's going to be a surge in requirement. But the long-term guys are, looking at facilities from 2021, which is the kind of an opportunity we are proposing where a facility will be ready by then. But again, like I said, e-commerce is a biggest growth driver. Likes of Amazon, Flipkart, etc. have now leased more spaces during COVID because they've seen a surge in their requirement. Acceptance to e-commerce has been more because all of you were sitting online all day. And these guys had their customers being converted, literally at zero customer acquisition cost to the billions they were spending earlier in general. So again, vacancy rate today in a good grade A warehousing facility is only 4%, which is phenomenal, which means clearly shows that the demand is chasing the supply. And in office assets for that matter, it's about 9 to 10%. So you can understand, it's almost 250% better in terms of vacancy rate than an office market to what it is today at the same time. Now, biggest growth drivers, again, just to summarize, is obviously the movement from China to India. We've seen a lot of things. I've been a part of few delegate webinars where Japanese government is doing meetings with India where they're looking at moving a lot of their manufacturing facilities. They, in fact, announced a $2 billion package for companies who want to move out of Japan and move here. Obviously for manufacturing, but obviously when manufacturing is happening, that means sourcing is happening locally and storing is also happening locally. So that is going to be a good driver for warehousing at the same time. E-commerce, Jio's entry to e-commerce is a huge boon for e-commerce. Today it's at a $40 billion business. It is subject to grow toward $120 billion business at the same time. So you see a massive growth in e-commerce, which is why, companies like Adjustify are the forefronts for something like this, because the kind of warehousing requirement which is coming to them as daily requirements is just humongous. The kind of opportunities we're talking as an investment, which is why, this whole partnership is all about. But a thumb rule, something which I learned from the Adjustify team, is the fact that for every $1 billion of sale a e-commerce business does, you need another 1.5 million square feet of warehousing space, about 10 to 15 lakh square feet. To give you an understanding on why this requirement and how it works, let's say there's a Xiaomi manufacturer of a phone in Chennai, which is where all the phones are getting manufactured, in Sri City, where Foxconn is doing for Xiaomi. There are at least 2 or 3 contract manufacturers who are storing things and giving the goods, whether it's LED displays or battery or whatever it is for that matter, to Xiaomi, where assembling happens. So there are 3 warehouses used for that by their suppliers for that matter. Then when an order is placed, let's say somebody, all the way in Kanpur for that matter, from Amazon, so order from the manufacturer, it moves to the Amazon hub in Chennai. From the Amazon hub in Chennai, it probably moves to the UP hub. From the UP hub, it goes to Kanpur. From Kanpur, eventually gets distributed to the client at the same time. So if you ever gone to Amazon, Flipkart, you would have realized that when you place an order, the number of warehouses a product is moving, when you track your order, that is the kind of a warehousing requirement, because a good moves to at least about 3 to 4 warehouses bare minimum before it reaches to an end customer. So that is where the requirement is going to keep growing, as and when e-commerce is going to keep growing at the same time. But again, the biggest thing is going to be about the shift of doing the logistics themselves to third-party logistics, because they're all very tech-driven company. The whole third-party logistics tech-driven company came when startups started up only about 8 to 9 years back with the likes of Delivery, Rivigo, and a bunch of other companies. They're all unicorns today. Is because of the sheer size of an opportunity and how fragmented this industry is at the same time. Another big,
So adding on to this, Sudarshan, like there's an important factor in developed countries. Now, these organized 3PL companies have a market share of 75 to 80%, and in India, it's less than 10%. So the growth opportunity would be humongous. That's the reason all delivery, Stella value chain, all these players are growing big because it's less than 10% organized players are there. Now everyone is moving to our stack and how they can service in a better way.
right. So again, one big change, we've been talking to a lot of companies, HStify is also where they're now planning to store more than they used to. So from an lean inventory level, they're looking at ideal inventory level, depending on some situations. Like auto companies in Chennai today are hit big time because most of the spare parts were getting imported from China. Chinese has been closed from January, February, then we were closed for the next 2-3 months. For them to start importing, it's going to take some time, and then they can start delivery at the same time. So this 5-6 months gap, which is going to hit auto sector in a big way, especially the four wheelers, is why people are now going to look at storing more than from the lean inventory to an ideal inventory level at the same time. Again, very interesting things during COVID. Like I said, Flipkart and Amazon signed up close to 3 million square feet. How Kamal mentioned, there are several private equity funds, so about $600 million dollars worth of private equity warehousing transactions are happening in this space. So clearly, you can understand that this is where all the money is flowing in, because the fragmented, as how Kamal mentioned, it's organized is only 10%. Where developed economies, it's 75%. This is where the industry has to keep growing, which grows. Just to give you an understanding on how third-party logistics companies are even mapping requirements. Let's say a Coke and another company like say Tommy Hilfiger, right? Just for an example. Coke today's maximum demand of their products is in summer, where in summer they need probably say 5 lakh square feet of warehousing space to store and deploy it to their retail stores, where they can give it to the consumer for consumption. Whereas for Tommy, in during winters is where their maximum sale is, where perhaps they need 5 lakh square feet for that matter. But during summers, Tommy needs only say 1 lakh, and during winters, Coke needs only 1 or 2 lakhs for that matter. So that bridging of the demands based on their seasonal requirements is
Seasonality.
what third-party logistics company do, right? So imagine Coke, although using only 1 lakh square feet, but still paying rents for 5 lakh square feet for probably 5-6 months, where their sales are not going to be as much their sales are going to be in summer, but they need that facility to store. So that is where the third-party logistics companies are coming, where most of the companies who are in the smaller scale are moving to these professional companies who will handle their entire delivery at the same time. Now, again, from a COVID point of view, office markets, I'm sure you guys would have heard, are impacted. It is going to be impacted for the next 3 to 6 months. No new leasing is going to happen. The existing leases are also going to get corrected. There are going to be rental negotiations. But the premium properties, in Bombay, in Bangalore, like UBCity, etc., they always command their rentals. You'll not see any corrections to them. But properties in Whitefield, properties in Navi Mumbai, etc., they're going to have major corrections, at least about 15%, 10 to 15% in terms of their rental rates at the same time. But exciting thing, why warehousing is great, and why HStify and Strata thought that this should be an asset class which retail investors should also make, is the kind of tenures these warehousing companies sign as tenants. So if you're looking for a good fixed income product, nothing beats this, because tenants usually sign 10 to 20 year leases and 10 to 15 year lock-ins for these kind of properties at the same time. Just to give you an understanding why they sign up such long lock-ins, is because they invest close to about 1,500 rupees worth of rack systems and forklifts. For them to recover their cost, they need to stay put at least for 7-8 years for them to actually recover the cost. And that's why they sign up 15-year, 20-year leases, because that's when they start generating their maximum profits also at the same time. So very, very high stability. Somebody is looking for a good fixed income product, nothing beats a warehousing requirement today in these markets. But very important from a COVID point of view, has been no impact on warehousing. In fact, it's just gone up even more based on all the acceptance. A bigger trend which we've seen is the whole sabji mandis now moving to a more organized warehousing player, for that matter. Again, from an hygiene point of view, to more organized players like Big Basket, Grofers, etc., trying to tap that space in a bigger. Now JioMart also in that space, which is there. So this whole concept of sabji mandis, which were in acres of land, are now moving into more organized warehousing space. So grocery is going to be a big driver for warehousing also at the same time, because this is daily consumed. You need to store, and bunch of other requirements, why grocery is also going to be a great driver. Again, how Kamal has mentioned, large funds attracting in this space. Blackstone has been the smartest money manager in commercial real estate in India. They came in 2008-10. They made their best investments during that time. They made a massive exits out of their properties, or they've been generating massive IRRs and returns out of their properties as well. Blackstone recently announced a $500 million to 3,000 crore JV with Hiranandani for only constructing warehousing projects in India. So you can understand, they are also seeing this as a big opportunity, like how Kamal mentioned, 10% organized to 75% organized. If we have to go, the kind of investment in infra which is required is humongous. And, Blackstone, being the smartest guys, have caught on to the trend, and, they're investing at the right time into these opportunities also at the same time. So just to give you a background about this investment opportunity, and Kamal can probably tell you more about what Hosur market is for that matter. So Hosur is about 35 kilometers from Bangalore. This investment opportunity is about 1 million square feet, which is getting leased to a company called Stellar Value Chains. I'll discuss about who Stellar Value Chains a little later. There are 4 boxes, B1, B2, B3, B4, almost on an average of 2.5 lakh square feet each. And what we're proposing is the B3 box, which is 2,54,000 square feet for as low as 25 lakh rupees, where investors can invest through the SPV structure at the same time.
So in last 3-4 months now, we have received over 2-3 million square feet of requirements in the similar region. Like companies are yet to finalize, but yes, many companies, e-commerce players are willing to come to Hosur area.
Correct.
We have received a lot of requirements.
Just to give you an idea why Hosur is becoming a darling for a lot of companies. Obviously, Hosur is not a new entrant. There are 1,500 acres of land already taken by TVS and Ashok Leyland, who are already having their factories and all their ancillary units as well. Titan has 3 factories in Hosur, including their engineering and aerospace business vertical. TEAL, as you call it, is also a part of this area itself for that matter. Apart from that, granite is a huge segment in Hosur, where majority amount of warehousing as well as industrial leasing is happened at the same time. Now there's a huge change in the granite business. They're no longer being mined, they are being manufactured. So they're all chemically made, using chemicals. They're being made now. That is seeing a major trend because it's cheaper from a granite and the durability is much stronger at the same time. So that is a huge trend which we're seeing. But like how Kamal mentioned, these are the other parks which are coming up or are existing today. Close to almost about 500 to 600 square feet of, 600 acres of land being developed or already developed in this area. So TVS Logistics, Park 1 is 7.5 lakh square feet, completely leased to Flipkart Furniture. There's Amazon, there's Puma, there's DHL, there are a bunch of other companies who are having their facilities at the same time. Just to give you an idea, these are the tenants and these are the kind of rentals which are going in that market for ready to move or build to suit warehousing at the same time. But one reason why the 4-5 million square feet of requirement what HST5 is now handling is because getting approvals in Hosur, which falls under Tamil Nadu, is easier than Karnataka at the same time. And more importantly, also allows investors to make the most of this because the land prices are cheaper versus Karnataka at the same time. So in Bangalore, there are 3 markets for warehousing predominantly, is Nelamangala, it's Hoskote and Hosur. Nelamangala today land prices touch 3-4 crores because that is the route to Bombay. Hoskote today has a lot of their legal title issues for that matter, but lands again are about 1.5-2 crores on a highway for that matter. It is on the route to Hyderabad. And this is on the way to Chennai, where the land prices are just about 50 lakhs to a crore. So, and getting approvals is fairly easier as well. So this is why Hosur has now become a good destination for warehousing operators to make the most of this investment. I mean, this area at the same time. Just to give you a highlight about the investment, so our first year yield is about 10%. It's a 15-year lease and a 9-year lock-in, which we're getting. It's a grade A asset leased to Stellar Value Chains at the same time. So again, just for investors to understand where Hosur is, it's about 35 kilometers from Bangalore. The tenants in Hosur, again, the property which we are signed up for, only about 3 kilometers away is where the Titan factory and the Hosur airport is also at the same time. And if you've seen in the same properties where TVS is now constructing another 70-acre park, where they're looking at leasing to several other companies in the vicinity at the same time. Like how Kamal mentioned, it's not just an auto and granite business sector. It's catching up on e-commerce, it's catching up on textile, it's catching up on all the other requirements why warehousing is growing in this area very much. And again, road connectivity is one big advantage why areas like this are also coming up, which, earlier it was not a case as such. Again, so this is a 42-acre park, phase 1. Phase 2 is 37, so it's 79-acre park which is there. There's an extension of a land which is still not cleared, but it's going to be about 120-acre park eventually. Spread across 42 acres, it's 10,67,000 square feet to be exact, close to 1 million square feet. The B3 box is spread across 8 acres, and this is the property which we are proposing for investors to invest at the same time. Again, the PMC is done by Tata. It's pre-engineered buildings, so you get your long warranties, unlike office transactions which you don't. You have your 25-year stage structure and a 30-year roof stability warranty at the same time. So entire asset construction consultants are Tata Consulting. So the quality of construction is great. But on top of it, we've even appointed JLL, who's going to keep giving you guys, once you invest, weekly updates on the property as such. Again, like I said, we don't do under construction projects, but because this was built to suit, and we've learned with the team that the requirement for built to suit is high, and the tenant stickiness is high, is why we wanted to get into an under construction project and offer it to the tenant. I mean, to you guys as an investment opportunity. So again, about Stellar, and I'll let Kamal speak more about Stellar, because the founder is a mentor to Kamal as well. But Stellar is run by a person called Mr. Anshuman Singh. Mr. Anshuman Singh he's no newcomer in this business. He was the MD for Future Supply Chain, the largest supply chain business in India, for close to about 10-15 years prior to that at Welspun India. So he knows the space in and out, and that's why they've grown too fast. They already managed close to about 50-60 lakh square feet of warehousing space in less than 4 years since they've started their operations, doing a turnover of almost 400 crores in just less than 4 years. Again, shows the pedigree of how fast these guys have grown and the kind of business these guys are doing. They've been backed by one of the largest private equity funds called Warburg Pincus, who's invested 125 million into them. As a seed round, you never heard that as seed rounds investments happening. And today they manage, like for clients like Walmart, for Havells, for a bunch of other companies for whom they are doing the entire third-party logistics business. The lease terms is at 15 rupees 50 paisa is what we are getting as a lease rent per square feet. There's an escalation of 15% every 3 years. And like I said, the lease duration and lock-in is 15 and 9 years respectively. Kamal, do you want to speak a little more about Stellar?
So, like in the short span of time, now they've acquired 3-4 big companies who are doing great in the ecosystem. And the vision of Anshumanji like bringing organized 3PL players is great. So, like if you see all the videos of Mr. Anshumanji, he's trying to change the entire ecosystem. The way how like service-based industries have revenues in 70-80 billion dollar terms. Like if you see DHL's global revenue now, it's close to $70 billion. Similarly, UPS. So now is the time where companies like Delhivery and Stellar are bringing that change in Indian ecosystem. And they are pumping money at right place, identifying the right packets and growing big with a great pace.
Correct. So three acquisitions, like how Kamal mentioned, is Kelvin Cold Logistics for them to enter into the perishable business. Innovative for them to do the express and last mile delivery for that matter. And the listed company called Patel Roadways. I'm sure most of you have heard it's a 60-year-old organization. They've acquired a majority stake and now they are delivering to 15,000 pin codes what Patel Roadways was catering to. So smart entrepreneurs are those who either work towards building their capabilities, but also work towards acquiring such capabilities so that they can, ramp up their operations faster than anything else. So again, for a newcomer, it's understandable, but for someone who's been in this business and supply chain for 20-25 years, you can clearly understand the reason why they've grown too fast at the same time. So Stellar today manages close to about 50 to 60 lakh across 12 cities is where their current facilities are. Again, rentals, like I said, it's a 15% escalation every 3 years. So you'll keep getting your 15% hike in rentals. That's how the rental yield projection is. It's not a projection, but it's effectively what the lease agreement, which is a contractual obligation, is what we are entering into at the same time. Just the breakup of the entire cost of everything from land to construction, whatever it is for that matter, the stamp duty registration, which we pay, the lease stamp duty, which we're splitting 50-50 with Stellar, the legal fees towards registering the property and allocating securities to you, the stamp duty paid for the share certificates, etc. And we keep a small amount of money as reserves for any unforeseen expenses which can happen in future as such. Financial model, again, what your returns are, I'll show you guys a detailed financial model as well. So investors who are looking at deploying any amount of money, you can play around with that model. I'll show you guys so that you get an understanding. Likewise, the growth sensitivity as well. Why investing? As Tata, we'll also invest along with you, and we don't exit till you don't exit your investments. Again, this is just a comfort to investors. We started only from this asset. We've not done for our last 4 transactions, but we started doing and we'll be planning on doing going forward. The idea is to show a commitment and put our skin in the game as well. Many investors and partners have come forward and told that, hey, why are you not investing as well? If you are the one who's managing it, why don't you do it? So we obliged, and we wanted to take that as a good feedback from them, and we started doing that. So reasons we're investing is superior yields. The yields, we don't get such yields in office markets as well. Strategic location of the property. Also, like Kamal mentioned, there's close to about 3 to 4 million square feet of requirement coming in that market, is because it's a market growing. Again, roads are connectivity very, very good. So markets like Cochin, Mysore, Coimbatore for that matter, Vellore and Chennai, Hosur can easily take care of at the same time. And long-term tenant and the kind of tenant profile we're talking about is phenomenal. Why we wanted to back them and get into this investment opportunity at the same time. So again, like I said, minimum investment opportunity is just 25 lakh rupees for investors. There's a rental top-up of 1.5%. We have a pre-booking offer which is going on for investors who commit early to us. Their rents ideally would start from October itself, but for others, the rents would start from December. That's the arrangement. We charge a management fee of 0.5%. Effectively, the management fee is all the services which we mentioned, including taking insurance of the asset, finding another tenant in the event the tenant leaves, is all covered as a part of the management fee. There's a small performance fee which we charge if you make an appreciation alone beyond 8% year on year. Imagine if you invest a crore at the end of 5 years, you should ideally make 1 crore 46 lakhs compounded. But if you make anything over and above that, we bill you 10% as performance fee at the same time. For investors who are looking at committing, all we need is 5% of whatever you're looking at investing. Minimum is 25 lakhs. It's a 54 crore opportunity. We've already funded about 32 crores. In fact, 35 crores in this investment opportunity. So again, there are investors who put in 5 crores, 1 crore, to even 10 crores for that matter. These are the kind of investors who come and try to double down on these investment opportunities from different companies who they work with, who understand e-commerce, who don't. Everyone's seen this as a great investment opportunity and they've invested. Again, just to give you guys an idea of how the investment cycle, like I said, it explains, but this is the dashboard for you to track all your investments, what it is, what is the market value. Like I said, we get you a valuation report from JLL. You'll know what the valuation of your asset is on a real-time basis. You can keep a track of what's happening in and around the property. This is something, with Adjustify, which are going to work for you guys, where we keep a track of what's happening in and around the market. We keep offering you data, who are the other tenants coming into that property, what are the new developments which are coming in at the same time, which allows you to keep a track of your performance. Not that we expect you to go see your property every year, but if you can't, we take care of that and we keep updating you at the same time. Again, all sale lease data on real-time basis will be updated on your platform, so you don't have to move around and you can know everything. But very important is all the SPV details, the bank statements itself for that matter is plugged into the dashboard. So you can track on a real-time basis all the debit credits of the SPV, property documents, GST receipts, property tax receipts, TDS deductions, insurance documents, valuation reports, all on your dashboard at the same time. Again, just about me, how Kamal mentioned, I've been a lawyer in the private equity and real estate law as such, primarily in the litigation for the first 3-4 years of my career, then moved into the private equity side. Priyanka was working with WeWork as the lead real estate analyst. So all the properties which WeWork used to absorb was done under her, and she used to absorb those properties eventually. Nihar was with Piramal Capital, used to do. So we come from a good background to manage and make those good investment decisions on your behalf. But again, with Adjustify now, because it'll give us an edge over data. So it's going to be more data driven, where all the investment decisions made for you is going to be backed by data. So you can stay rest assured. And also with the partnership, leasing becomes a much easier challenge also for the same time, is because they're a veteran in the space and they've been growing. They've grown multifolds, and that's why we're very keen to participate with them. Again, our team, just to give you background, so the kind of people who we come, they've worked in such organizations. So the kind of SOPs and processes and the experience we want to give is going to be of top class. So assets which we did before that, again, trusted by investors. We've been backed by good investors. So SAF Partners and Mayfield. SAF was the first investor of Paytm Swiggy back in the days. In PropTech business, they've invested in housing, in PropTiger and no broker business as well. They are incumbents and largest players in the space at which they're operating. So we couldn't have asked for better partners in this business vertical for us. Likewise, Mayfield, BharatMatrimony.com, bunch of other investments like Licious, Lending Card, IndiaProperty.com have been their investments. We bank with HDFC Bank, although our escrow alone is with ICICI, but all the SPVs bank accounts are with HDFC. They are the custodians. All the property documents are also maintained with them. Any investor who wants to review any property documents, give us a 2-day heads up, and we can show you any of the property documents at the branch where the vault is kept. And we use Razorpay, so T+1 day, you will get your rentals as and when it is getting collected. Again, technology driven, so that even the UTR number can be tracked onto your dashboard. Again, we've been covered on newspaper and everything. Let me just show you guys the Excel sheet as well, so that you guys get an understanding on the entire thing. So this is the breakup of each and everything on the cost at which you're buying, what is the mezzanine floor cost, what are the rentals you're making. Again, there's a deal input sheet in case anybody wants to review how much land are we buying, how much is the per square feet, end-to-end data around it. But this is the return simulator. You can include how much money you're looking at investing. What is the growth rate you presume this market can have? Probably say from 5, which is consonant to what your rental growth is on a year-on-year basis, to even high. Accordingly, your multiplier would change here. Again, there's an indexation benefit which you can take out of your investment. So you automatically know what is the kind, is there any capital gains tax which will be applicable? Like if you do 6, automatically the capital gain tax is applicable if you make a 6% growth rate. So even that is made. What your rental returns are going to be, what is the management fee you will bill, what is the property tax, what is the net in your hand, end to end, completely transparent, available to you for you to review, and then you can take an investment decision. So like I said, average yield is close to about 12% is what investors making, plus the appreciation. So we're talking about a phenomenal IRR of at least 17-18% what investors could ideally make versus the investment, subject to the growth rate being 5. But like I said, you're free to even make it 1, and you'll know exactly, what is the kind of a multiplier you'll be making out of investment versus you make it at 5 at the same time. So that in a nutshell is what this whole investment opportunity is. We'll take questions now. So for anyone who wants, there's a Q&A option. Kamal and I can answer all your questions back to back at the same time. Great. Kamal, can you see the questions as well?
Yes, I can see the questions. So shall we start from the last? So there is a question from Mr. Ankur. Okay, so how can you sell it as investor is not the owner of the property? What happens if the tenant defaults on rent? How will you pay back?
So perfect. So that's what the whole lock-in is. For that matter, if the tenant defaults, you obviously have the security deposit also with you. You can claim end-to-end. They're investing a huge amount of money in the rack systems as well. You can claim end-to-end with them and go after them for recovering your rentals. That's what lease agreements are for. It's contractually binding, and you can always make the most of it. But in terms of question, how can you sell it? You're not the owner. No, you're the 100% owner, because the company, you're the only shareholders, and the company is the only owner of the land as well as the entire property for that matter. So effective owner of the property is you. So at any given point of time, you're going to be owners. But if you want to sell your units, we have a resale market on our platform. You can come and list your units, whatever you're looking at selling. So investors want to enter into that property, they can enter into that property. We have a private sale option where Kamal well. Let's assume you can say, Kamal, do you want to buy this unit from me? You can buy it and do it. It's DMAT to DMAT transfer. We don't charge any fee for it, but it happens in less than a minute itself, the entire process. Third, we have a dedicated window which we open every year. This is a window where all your units will be listed at a 3% discount. If you want to opt in, you're free to opt in. The reason is to incentivize an investor so that he can work towards liquidating investment, and incentivizing a buyer who can take a 3% discount and buy. Even existing investors can make the most of this dedicated window and try to capitalize the same thing. But most interesting thing which we're creating is effectively going to be the asset sale. This is why the partnership with Registify is going to be very fruitful for us as well, where we work towards finding buyers with you, like how Kamal mentioned. A lot of funds are looking at these opportunities today. A lot of HNIs are looking at these opportunities today. We'll be working towards exiting your entire property for you. We get 75% shareholders approval. We work towards selling the entire property on your behalf and move forward. So that is how you can exit your investments at the same time. Great. So we have a question from Mr. Aviraj Agarwal. What about the increase in land price? How do you adjust that in an invest and exit the property? Like I said, sir, we take a property valuation report every 6 months. So you will know basis what the land price has been, if it's increased, to what the rentals in the market has been. Based on that is what we derive your NAV, the net asset value of your investments. So basis that price is when you can exit your investment. So you'll get access to that valuation report as well at the same time. Great. We have a question from Mr. Dheeraj Katwani. If we invest 50 lakh rupees, what will we get at the end of 15 years? Let me just do a. So effectively, These are the rentals which is going to be there for you. Effectively, if you see the rentals which you'll be making is going to be about 87 lakh rupees collectively. And you, at a 5% growth rate, you can sell your property for about a crore for an investment you made, effectively only doubling, being conservative for that matter. But your profits are going to be about 1.36 crores as an investment your return. Let's assume you say, I don't want to even factor growth for that matter. Just even at that, you're still making, you're recovering your 50 lakh back and you're still making about an 82 lakh rupee profits. That's 2.8x your investment. That is the kind of a return this asset at zero growth rate can also offer you at the same time. Great.
And there are a lot of factors in the ecosystem. Like in next 5, 7, 8 years, the Indian economy, which everyone claims like would reach $5 trillion. This is the asset class which is being like, it would be valued much more in the coming times.
Perfect. There's another question from Mr. Vinny Jaiswal. Is there any opportunity for people who already have their warehouse and land? Yes, absolutely. If you're looking at selling any of your warehouses, please be in touch with Kamal's team, with Agistify. We work with them anyway, so we'll keep evaluating opportunities. Again, for us, primary things, it has to be grade A. Everything has to be cleared by the best law firm for us. We use Cyril Amarchand as our law firm. So if they give us title clearance and all the other clearances, we are absolutely good to go. And the tenant profile has to be grade A. So if we get leases which are 9-10 year leases pending, we'll happily enter into such transactions and offer, because that's what we are looking for, parking our money and our investors' money, or even your money for that matter, at the same time. Great. We have a question from Mr. Dheeraj Katwani. If you want to take out the investment in between, I've just mentioned that at the same time. Great. We have a question from Mr. Yash Chand. Who will be the ownership of the SPV? You're the 100% owners. There are no other shareholders, so you'll be the 100% owners. We have an independent director on board who will just take care of your GST filings, TDS filings on a case-to-case basis. We have a question from Mr. Nimit Shah. Is there a similarity between a REIT or is it different? Yes, it is different. REITs are subject to stock market volatility. REITs, where Embassy REIT is the only REIT we have in the market. REITs was at 320, 330 when it listed last year. It had a bull run. It went up to 470 rupees for that matter. And it's now back to 350, 360 bucks for that matter, right? And in fact, went down to 320 rupees as well. Property price does not change that way. Property price can have a correction of 5-10%, but does not have a 50% appreciation, which is what a REIT has, is effectively properties. But why was a REIT? So it's subject to stock market volatility. Again, a REIT is effectively your blind pool. You're relying only on the fund manager to deploy. REIT has hotels. REIT has 60% only completed assets, has under construction assets as well, which in today's markets can always be risky. Considering they're looking at future growth, that's why they've been constructing. But if COVID is going to impact office space, that's going to be a huge downturn for REITs as well. But the best performing REIT in US and Singapore hasn't grown more than 5 to 6%. So this REIT is just because it's first and new. That's why there's a lot of volatility. But you, on the other hand, know the investment. It's not blind pool. You rely on your investment decision. You get to see every sale and lease transactions. You get to see the bank statement of the SPV itself. All that is done is why it is more different. So it's more physical touch over the asset versus just another investment you made in another stock market portfolio as such. Great. We have a question. Can we do this in India? I'm sorry, sir. Just for the advantage and for everyone, we're doing that at a larger scale. Any link? Yes, Kamal's team will reach out to all of you and send you the link of this current webinar as well at the same time. Great. We have a question from Rahul. Do you want to answer this? What happens after the duration of 15 years as it's built for a particular company? Will the infrastructure need to be changed for any other company?
Hello.
Yeah, Kamal, do you want to answer that?
So yes, I want it's a 3PL company who is leasing out. So it is already a multi-tenant facility. So these structures are a AAA rated structure. I don't think so there would be major changes required. The structure anyhow would be there for next 25-30 years. So it won't be some major changes until a customer asks for a particular change. The structure which we are talking are general warehouses, grade A warehouses, which are normal in size, which we are seeing similar in the market. So there won't be any changes much.
Again, one more thing just to add on, we'll share you the spec sheets as well for everyone to review. But effectively, the entire spec sheet is just a typical e-commerce company or a normal third-party logistics company as a spec sheet. It is grade A, higher spec sheets which are used. There's fire sprinkler systems which have been included as well as a part of the spec sheet, which typically is not a part of the usual transactions. So, it's grade A again, everything is of things. So again, if based on the client profile, if it's another e-commerce company, I don't think so. We'll need to make huge amount of infrastructure changes, probably few changes here and there is what you can do it. We have a question from Mr. Sachin Diwan. You lease out covered areas, but do you pay for open areas which are used in parking lawns? How much is the rate as compared to open areas? No, we don't. None of the logistics companies pay for that. They pay only for the covered area. So that's a small thing. Again, it doesn't make a huge impact in terms of your returns for that matter. But as of now, whatever yields, which is about 10.12, which is for the first year, is only for the covered area is what you think. But yes, you are buying the uncovered area as well. Okay. Is reinvestment possible without taking a payout? So once a property is funded 100%, unless somebody is selling, you cannot make any investment into the asset, but you're free to make in any other warehouses. What Justify and I would keep offering it to you at the same time. We have a question from Ankur. How can I exit if you need the money? Again, this is come with a 5-year mindset for this investment asset class. This is not a product which gives you returns every 2 years, 1 year for that matter. Come with a 5-year mindset, 3 to 5 years at least. We have liquidity options which we'll be creating for you to liquidate your assets. But actual money is to be made only if you stay longer into such assets, especially like how Kamal mentioned, this is the most sunrise sector. The requirement is just going up day by day. Most of the private equity funds are looking at, which is why we wanted to offer this to retail investors so that, for smaller ticket size as well, they can make the most of it. Again, please remember, we have a pre-booking offer, which ideally would end in the next 5 to 7 days. For investors who are looking at, we're free to answer any of your questions you may have about any of your investment opportunities, but please do get in touch with us if you need any questions or with the Justify team. So you can do. Let me just show you one more thing, which is going to be available for you to review as well. Just a second. So there's an entire Google folder which we'll share it to you guys. Right from the legal opinion, which has been taken from Silver Merchant, to all the approval documents for that matter, EC for the property is all available for you to review. Market research, the Household Micro Market report, all the other IPCs, the reports they have, why warehousing is a growth sector for that matter, is all clearly mentioned for you to review. We've taken from every IPC, so it's consistent. Not one is told anything about it. We have a site progress report, which will be sent to you on email every week once you commit to us, but otherwise it's right now there. Again, clearly shows what the progress of the site has been on a day-to-day basis. But once JLL comes in, you'll have a site progress report, which will come from JLL as well for you to review at the same time. Again, the LOI, MOU signed by Stellar with the developer, and our agreement with the developer is also available for anyone to review. Stellar's financials, how much is Stellar making, how good company it is. Again, they have $125 million funded, but still for you to review how their growth has been. Obviously, it's a loss-making entity. You don't make money in 4 years itself and be profitable, but they've been investing in infrastructure and they've been growing. Their revenues have jumped 10 times in the last 2 years. Clearly shows how good this company has operated. So this is going to be available for you guys. Anybody wants to review anything, feel free to get in touch with us and we'll share you this folder for you to review before you take an investment decision at the same time. Great. We have a question is, what is the floor height and the ceiling height requirement by most of the logistics company generally for an already built up area? Kamal, do you want to answer? Kamal? Okay, I think he's not available. So typically the ceiling height which people are expecting for logistics company is 12 meter. In fact, companies today are now expecting even 15 meters for that matter. Very, very ambitious in general so that they can keep putting in their rack systems in a much bigger manner. This property is with 12 meters. Again, this is what the industry requirement is. 12 meter is what we put in, which allows them to put at least 7 floors of rack systems till the ceiling level, which they can enforce and they can try using this. So this is what it is. The flooring is FM2 flooring. Again, the grade A flooring which is required for these properties, it's gallium steel which is being used, and the entire PB is from Kirby and Pennar. So again, the top of top class, which is why the developer is offering us a 30-year warranty over the structures. Otherwise, it's typically very, very difficult to offer these things, is because the kind of quality of things which is happening is grade A. That's what is happening. Great. We have a question. How can I rent out my warehouses easily? Again, Justify is your best platform. If you ever want to rent out any of your warehouses, you can always map it to them. They help you on a platform to help you lease out your existing warehousing facility if there is any at the same time. Please be in touch with Kamal's team and they'll help you on that. We have a question from Rahul Agarwal. If a company breaks the lock-in period, how will we get a new tenant? So two reasons. Again, like I said, we have the data of every other transaction with HST5 on what's happening in the market, who are the other tenants, how much rents are they paying. So we know what's happening, so we can always work towards. Most of our agreements have 6 months, termination notice for that matter. So it allows you 6 months of time for us to identify a new tenant as well. But very important, this is a 120-acre park. It's going to be 3 million square feet. So it's not a standalone building, which might have a vacancy risk. Large tech parks have they attract premium tenants. They attract employees to come and do this because it becomes an ecosystem at the same time, which is why we were very excited about this whole investment opportunity at the same time. And these are the kind of opportunities we would be proposing with the Justify as we move forward for all of you guys to make the most of these investment classes as well at the same time. But typically the whole idea of a lock-in is that you cannot break the lock-in. You're obligated to pay the rents. Our LOI and lease agreements explicitly mention that they cannot terminate, and we have the right to claim the entire rent for the lock-in duration as well from the tenant. So that pretty much is the same thing. We have a question from Mr. Nikhil. Can you please tell me how much can one invest? Like I said, minimum is 25 lakhs. You're free to invest as much you want. Our typical average ticket size has been 50 lakhs into this property from our investors as of today. Cool. We have a question from Rahul. Do you have any similar proposal working in MP state? No, currently we're operating only in Bangalore and Mumbai. We're evaluating transactions with the HST5 team in Bombay to offer it to you guys. We want to focus only on 2-3 markets for the time being. But with time, again, the thing is we need investor base as well. We have our investor base today in these 2 markets, and this is a market where there's a massive demand supply gap in warehousing as well. So we're taking one step at a time. Yes, Madhya Pradesh down the track, but at least after 2-3 years for that matter. We're looking at Hyderabad, looking at north of India, looking at Pune, looking at Chennai markets. You want to do at least 5-10 assets in each market before we work towards extending to a newer market at the same time for investors.
And we want to bring the best yield generating assets. So we are analyzing like more than 40,000 properties which comes under bigger category. So we want to bring the maximum yield which is possible. So we will keep floating these opportunities in the coming time.
Again, very important thing which helps us as a partnership with Justify is they know how the tenants have been performing in other properties for that matter, how they have been paying rents, disputes, because they are on the ground, they keep doing that on a regular basis, which is why for us, this was very important. And second, like how Kamal mentioned, is evaluating. We don't want to just do properties just because it's come up, but again, evaluating, choosing the best asset and offering it to you guys as an investment, because even we are investing, so we take care of the quality of investments at the maximum, and we break this at the same time for you guys, right? So that's very, very important, and why HST5 is the epitome of such transactions, because they have the data, they know every tenant, and they work with most of the tenants in India at the first place. So this foray into investments is taking care of their value chain as well to offer their clients everything end to end at the same time. Great. We have a question from Mr. Dheeraj. If the company breaks the lock-in, then all the shareholders will be paid rent. So it's effectively, sir, no, you will not be paid if the company breaks. Again, you will be legally challenging them if there is anything of that sort. Please remember, if it's not just even if you buy the same property yourself, what are the risks and perils which are associated? There's the same risks and perils. Just that we are a professional organization, we take care of a lot of diligences beforehand, and we'll be handling the asset management for you in better in terms of leasing in the event the tenant leaves for that matter. But effectively, say you 4 friends coming together and owning an asset is the same way it is. So if the tenant leaves, breaks the lock-in in your thing, will you continuously keep getting rents? No. Same way you will not be getting rents if the tenant leaves the lock-in as well at the same time. Cool. I think we are done with the questions. If there are any other questions, we'll just take that for a couple more minutes. And then perhaps Kamal can just give his last remarks on, what are the other kind of properties and opportunities and markets which, we're looking at and going to keep proposing to you guys.
So again, like if there are no questions coming in, so we have answered most of the things. If still the questions remain, you can reach out to us. We can explain all the things in detail. And as we are democratizing all the information related with end-to-end logistics and supply chain, and we see warehouse as a common piece from raw material stage, your manufacturing plant, your bigger warehouses, your distributor requires smaller hubs. So we see the entire value chain, and we want to mitigate the risk with our data so that these investments can be relevant for a longer period of time, and everyone should win. So we would keep exploring the opportunities which are there in the Bhiwandi area. Now there are legal structures which are coming in place. The Pune Chakan area, Pimpri Chinchwad area, Delhi NCR area, there is a lot of opportunity. And already PE play have been there. And we are working with the top companies who are growing big. We would be bringing better facilities with all compliances in check. So
awesome, great. I mean, so this is what it is. In partnership, we'll always keep proposing new and newer warehousing opportunities to you guys, so you can make the most of it. Again, for any, I mean, we've got questions for people who have their existing warehouses. If you want to lease out or whatever it is, please be in touch with the Justify team. That's what their core forte is, and that they'll keep working for you guys to manage your assets as well, which they focus on in terms of property management. So you can stay rest assured the rentals would keep coming to you on a month-on-month basis, and they'll handle the entire asset upkeep to management, as well as also vertical with Justify manages. And we'll keep working towards finding more assets, better investment opportunities with good tenants, like how Stellar is for that matter. Such kind of properties is what we would want to propose to you guys as we move forward. Great. So that's about us.
sure.
I think we have no other questions. Great. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in for the session. I hope it was fruitful and it answered most of your queries for everyone. But again, like I said, if there's anyone who wants to be in touch with the team, please be in touch with the Justify team, or you can reach out to us directly, and we can help you with any of your queries before you take an investment decision.
Surely.
Cool. Thank you, Kamal. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for your time and explaining this in detail.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.